After 3 years of sacrifice, my dad left the inheritance to my spoiled sisterhood. I handed the keys to my father's house across the polished table, a calm smile fixed on my face. Congratulations, Chloe, I said, knowing deep down that in that single, quiet moment, I was blowing up my entire life, and theirs. The air in Michael Lee's office was thick with the smell of old leather and tension. My father, David, his face a furious red, crumpled a letter in his shaking hand, staring at me as if I'd lost my mind. I sat there, watching him sign the final documents that would transfer everything to my sister, Chloe. 3 years of my life had built to this, and all I felt was this strange, hollow emptiness. David's hand trembled slightly as he wrote, a 72-year-old man, finally recovered from the stroke that had dragged me back to Colorado 3 years ago. Back then, I'd been thriving in Austin, building a promising career in marketing, living in an apartment I genuinely loved. The call came at 2 a.m. My mom's voice was steady but urgent. David had collapsed, and they weren't sure he'd make it through the night. I booked the first flight out. Chloe? She was somewhere in Europe, a travel photographer living her dream. She sent a text, a quick promise to visit when she could, her schedule incredibly busy. That text was the last I heard from her for 8 long months. The stroke left David partially paralyzed on his left side. He needed constant care, physical therapy 3 times a week, and someone to manage his contracting business. He'd built it over 30 years, a successful company. Without oversight, it would have crumbled. Mom tried, but at 68, she had her own health battles. So, I stayed. What choice did I have? Family comes first, right? Mom always drilled that into us. I gave up my Austin apartment. My boss was understanding at first, even offered remote options, but marketing isn't really a distance-friendly career. After 4 months, they let me go. They were kind, offered severance, promised great references. But I was unemployed, suddenly grounded in a life I hadn't chosen. The first year was brutal. David's recovery was agonizingly slow. Some days, he'd make progress, manage a fork, walk a few steps unassisted. Other days, he'd regress, struggling with basic sentences. The doctors said brain injury recovery wasn't linear. I handled everything, medical appointments, insurance, physical therapy, even modifying the house for a wheelchair. I took over the business with Robert Davis, David's longtime foreman. 17 employees, dozens of projects. I devoured construction terminology, reading contracts until my eyes burned, making decisions about bids and materials and schedules. The learning curve was vertical, relentless. Mornings, I was at the hospital, helping David, pretending not to see his tears of frustration. Afternoons, I was in the construction office, staring at blueprints, deciphering Robert's notes about load-bearing requirements. Evenings meant wrestling with medical insurance, which seemed designed to deny every claim. Sleep? A distant memory. I'd collapse around midnight, only to wake at 5 and start again. My body protested with constant headaches, a stomach that rejected anything more complex than toast. I dropped 12 pounds, which Mom, bless her heart, called a positive side effect of stress. The business threw unexpected challenges my way. One contractor tried to overbill us by 30%, banking on my inexperience. Don't miss the twist bottom left, full story.